I loved birds. I loved how they fly. I loved the noises they make. I loved the colors and the different feather patterns. I enjoyed watching them interact and communicate. I still do. As an adult in my line of work, this is considered an asset and a bonus. When I was a little kid, this fascination was considered cute and magical, and everyone encouraged it. My parents would take me on bird-watching hikes. We had bird-watching dates every weekend, and when I'm able, it's still something that we do together. I even taught my little sister to like birds. To this day, they are one of my all-time favorite animals. When I was in high school, I learned that my love and fascination with birds was not something shared by everyone else. It wasn't like I ran around talking about birds to everyone that I met. It wasn't like I made bird jokes or did every report or paper on the avian subject matter. It wasn't like I was trying to convert my friends to love birds. It was just that birds were something that I loved, that were special to me. I never imagined that it would be something that I would be made fun of for. But one day at school, Ted, a classmate, walked by and he made some odd noise and he flapped his arms at me. That was strange, I thought. Why would he do something like that? Ted and I did not hang out. We were not friends. But he never really bothered me. For the most part, I felt invisible to him. And I was happy with that. I had seen him pick on some other kids. He was part of that popular group. You know what I'm talking about. That group of kids in school who, for whatever reason, thought of themselves as it people in school. I wasn't unpopular. I had a lot of friends, but for some reason, Ted and his friends were considered to be the popular kids. I didn't think about it. I just went to my next class. Since Earth Day was approaching, our teacher assigned us an oral project about conservation. We could research an endangered species, plants, water sources, it didn't matter, as long as we were well informed about the subject and we did our research. We had to research why our subject was important, why it needed help, what was being done to improve the situation, and how we could help. And this was my dream project. Even then, I was passionate about endangered species. I chose to report on the great green macaw, one of my favorite birds. When our teacher asked us about the subjects that we had chosen, and I said that I was doing my report about the plight of the great green macaw, Ted flapped his arms and made that strange noise again, and the kids that he was sitting with began to laugh. Weirdos, I thought. The next Monday, while in homeroom, I was sitting with my friend Alex, and we were discussing what we did over the weekend, and I was telling Alex about our bird-watching hike, when Ted interrupted. "Oh, did you go bird watching?" in a funny voice. Yes, I said, not understanding why he was asking about my weekend. He never cared what I did. "So you went bird watching with your mommy and daddy?" Ted said in a baby voice. "I go every weekend. What's the big deal?" I asked. I was starting to get annoyed. What business of his was it what I did over the weekend? Why did he care? "I thought bird watching was for old people," Ted said. "I like animals," I said. "Do you not like birds?" "Yeah," Alex said. "So what's your problem with birds? I think they're pretty." "You're a bird nerd," Ted said, and then off he went laughing to himself. "That guy's such a jerk," Alex said. "I don't know what his problem is." "Do you think it's weird that I like birds?" I asked, and now I was feeling self-conscious. Did everyone think I was some weird bird nerd? "Jason, I like it that you like birds," Alex said. "You know a lot about wildlife. The only thing that Ted knows is football. He doesn't know anything about anything else, not even other sports. Just ignore him." I knew that she was right, but I still felt self-conscious. I was rethinking my idea to report on the great green macaw because I didn't want to be made fun of by Ted and his friends. So over the weekend, I looked at the books that I had taken out from the library and at the web pages that I had saved that had info on the birds. And I thought of what else I could report on when I noticed the cities page that listed the birds as an Appendix 1 species. That meant that they were among the most endangered animals in the world, and that told me that I should report on them just to let everyone know how endangered they are. And so, I did the report. I spent the entire weekend on it. I even was able to download photos from an organization that is working to repopulate the birds. And when I was finished, I was proud of what I had done. I saved all my information and actually looked forward to presenting it to my class. Monday came, and I was ready to present my report to the class. I stood up, and I put the photos up on the screen. I explained what an Appendix 1 species was. I also discussed what the birds did that benefited the world around them. And then Ted made his noise again. At first, I was a little afraid to go on. And then I thought of Alex telling me to ignore him. I explained the high intelligence of the birds and their social structure. I explained why it was essential to save them from extinction and how different organizations were working toward that goal. Most everyone seemed to be interested. And at the end, I handed out information packets with the websites of organizations that were dedicated to helping the greens, as well as facts about the birds and ideas of what we as students could do to help. And I received an A+ for my project. And as I was leaving class, Ted elbowed past me and said, "Move it, bird nerd." "At least I'm passionate enough about something to be a nerd about it," I said. "What are you passionate about besides football?" Ted rolled his eyes and walked off, and that felt good. I stood up for myself. Ted continued to call me a bird nerd throughout the year, until one day, Alex presented me with a t-shirt that said "Bird Nerd" on the front. I wore it with pride. The funny thing was, after I started wearing my Bird Nerd shirt to school, Ted and his friends stopped making fun of me and calling me a bird nerd. They went back to just ignoring me, and that was fine. I was a proud bird nerd, and if I was a nerd, so were my friends because we all liked the same things. As I got older, I learned that being a nerd was not really an insult. I loved being a nerd. It meant that I was intelligent and that I cared about things other than myself. As an adult, nobody's called me a nerd in a long time, except when they're joking. And of course, I still wear my t-shirt.